guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Soph, known as Soph on Instagram and here on FlossTube. Thank you very much for coming back. I know it's been a little while since I posted. I've had a few things going on which I'll touch on later on in the video. But for now, I just want to show you what I've been stitching on, because even though I haven't been on FlossTube, I have been on Instagram showing you what I'm doing. So you'll probably see a few things that I've been updating you on there. But it's about time that I got my butt into gear and actually did it here. So today is the 5th of April 2024. It's been a year since I did my first FlossTube, so it's been my FlossTube anniversary, if you can call it that. And yes, things have been happening, that's why I haven't made a big deal of it, but I'm very proud that I've done a year, and I'm really thankful to everyone who's followed me, subscribed, liked, commented, all those things. It makes me so happy. I think I've got close to 800 followers now on Instagram, and here I've got close to 600 subscribers, so way more than I thought I would when I first started. So thank you all for following, and if you haven't subscribed before, please subscribe. So on to my first and only finish. So this is Carolyn Manning's Eclipse, and I started this in May last year. I think it was the 2nd of May, because I started for #ManInMaySal. My ambition was to finish by May so I could start another one, which I managed to do. I picked it up and I just couldn't finish it. So I think this is what it was the last time I showed you, if I've got a picture of it. And this is its finish. And you guessed it, I'm going to say it, I absolutely love it. Such a lovely piece, and even though it was repetitive, I found it so relaxing because there were so many different blocks of colour that it didn't really get boring. This bit got a bit tedious at the end, but I always find that with really big blocks of colour, but the rest of it was so nice to stitch and the effect is just beautiful. And I love all the colours, so I'm hoping to frame that up myself, and I'll be able to show you that as a fully finish sometime soon. What are the details on this one? Just consult my book. Yeah, so I started this on May 2nd, 2023, finished it on the 17th of March 2024. I stitched it in all the called for DMC, and I stitched it on 16 count navy Aida. Now the Aida is quite it's quite a soft Aida, but the holes are quite big in it, but because it's a full coverage it didn't really bother me that much. The reason I chose a navy even though it's full coverage is just because it's a dark pattern, and the pattern stated if it is, you know, dark colours, best to do it on dark fabric. So that's what I did, and I didn't fancy doing it on black, so navy it was. So that's that one. So since I last spoke to you, I've been to 2 retreats. So I went to Bee Stitchy Retreat in Congdon in Devon, and I went to the Cardiff Stitchy Day as well. So I met a lovely lady called Emily, who is the Crafty Welshie on Instagram, so I'll tag her below. We got on really well. Everyone was like, oh, there's another Welsh person, chat to her. So we got talking, and we don't live too far away, which was quite cool. And I told her about the Cardiff Stitchy Day, and she came to that as well. And in between both retreats, I saw on Instagram that she was stitching this one, and I said, can I pinch your idea and stitch it with you? Can we do like a sal? And she was like, yeah, sure, join me. So we started it on St. David's Day, and I believe, it was Gabby who we met in Cardiff Stitch Day. She reached out to us on Instagram. I'll tag her below, I think it's Gabla on Instagram. She got in contact and said, can I start with you? So we all started it on the 1st of March, and then we were all stitching it on the Cardiff Stitchy Day, which was really nice. So this is the pattern. It's called Welsh Folkies, and it's by Riverdrift. Let me get this right. Yeah, so it's called Welsh Folkies by Riverdrift Needlework. By Riverdrift House Needlework. I can't get that right. I said that about 5 times then. So this is where I am with the pattern. So I've done about half of it. This pattern is absolutely bonkers and I love it. It's just so colourful. I was thinking about changing the colours so it was a bit more muted, but I thought, why? Just go for it, embrace the colour. And I love the sheep. They're just pink, and you can't really see it on here, but it's pink and red stripes on the sheep. And yeah, it's just super cool. It stitches up really quickly, but there's a lot of counting in it just because of the gaps in between each, you know, each motif. So I've put this away for a little while just because I've started a few more things, but I wanted to get a good chunk on it before I did. And then there's a lady that I'm going to stitch here, then the rest on this side. So I will pick that up at some point just to get it finished, but I am really enjoying that one. So if you do want to join us on this, you don't have to do it on St. David's Day. You can pick it up at any time if you're fellow Welshie, or you just like the pattern, or you love Wales and you don't live in Wales. You're welcome. Whoever you are, you can stitch it. But we are using hashtag St. David's Day start. So if you wanted to join us or just want to see all of us stitching it, then please follow that hashtag. So there's that one. This is stitched on 32 count Evenweave, and it's in like an antique pink. It's so light that it's almost white because there's so much pink in the pattern. I thought I would stitch it on this, and to be honest, it was in stash as well. So these are all stitched on CXC. I believe I bought them from Talking Dog Stitcher, who any CXC I'll be stitching in will be from her in the future because she's amazing. And the spreadsheet she sends for you to order from is just so organised that I absolutely love it. So that's the way to my heart, organisation. So when did I start this? So 1st of March, St. David's Day, started it. Yes, this Evenweave was from Sew It All. So that's all I've got to say about that one, really. So there's that start. It feels so nice to have this back. It's not one I've stitched before, but you'll see what I mean in a minute if you've been round a while. But I have started the new Wanderer Sal. I'm so happy that I'll be able to stitch a bottle each month again. I felt a bit lost not having one recently, but she's just released the new one. I finished stitching up the frame last night. I'm a little bit behind because the first bottle was released on the 14th of March. I want to catch up with the bottle and stitch it by the 14th of April in time for the next bottle to come out, just so I don't fall behind. But yes, when did I start this one? So I was searching and searching, and I decided to stitch it on the same fabric that I stitched the other one on, because my plan is to stitch to hang them side by side when they're done, when I eventually get them framed. But it's 16 count Aida in beige, and it's on Etsy. If I can find the link for it, I'll link it below. I just can't remember the name of the shop at the moment. But it's the called for DMC that I use at the moment. It's just black, and then in the last one I did sub the colours, but I think I've got most of the colours now, so I'll probably just use the colours that are called for, depending on what's called for in the future bottles and how quickly I want to get it stitched. So I started this on the 5th of March. So here is the new frame. It's really hard to get that in the picture, but this one stitched up so nicely. The last one, if I'm honest, because the last one was just 3 long blocks like this, it was quite hard to stitch, but this bit in the middle made it easier to count because you were just counting this small bit, then you got to here, and then this small bit. The only thing I was conscious of was this bit, because on the last one I had to frog it because I got that pattern wrong. But I'll give you a closer look. So we've got the candlestick up here, which I absolutely love. There's Amsterdam here, but not completed. So I feel a bit silly showing it to you, but it's my progress. You'll see it fully completed next month, hopefully, with the next bottle as well. Then there's the world up here, and then we come down, we've got the seashell, which was really fun to stitch, and then we've got the key here. So that'll be how many months? 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 months again, I'm guessing. But I've been heavily hinting that Wales be one of them, so we shall see if Cardiff is chosen. I won't be mad if not, but if it would be lovely. So there's that one. I'm using the hashtag new Wanderer Sal for that. There's an Instagram, a Facebook page, and you can follow the hashtag on Instagram as well. So if you fancy joining, you've still got time to catch up. I only managed to stitch the frame recently, so it does stitch up quite quickly when you get the hang of it if you're used to stitching black work. I think last time it was longer for me, but now I'm used to it and what to expect. It's stitching up really nice. So when I went to the Cardiff Stitchy Day, I had a lovely table. There's a few people that new people that I met, and then there was Emily, who I'd met before, and Scarlett I'd met at the Bristol retreat previously. And we had a lovely table, and an enabling table actually. We decided as a group to start a new pattern together, and we decided to start on the 1st of April. So I just went along with it because I was really excited, and then afterwards I was thinking, why am I joining another sal? I'm already stressed out about the patterns I've got, and I was secretly dreading this one, but I picked it up on the 1st of April. I didn't particularly like the colours that were in this. I'm not a purple person, and purple was the main colour, so I've changed it to pinks, but I'll show you that in a moment. But it's made me feel a bit better about the pattern. I'm actually enjoying it now. So this is the pattern that I'm going to be stitching. So this is from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Soul book, and they're not named, but I'll call it Good Companion. I wasn't fussed on the purple writing, as I said, so I've changed them to pinks. I'll show you what I've stitched, and if you like the conversion, I'll let you know. Just drop me a message, I can let you know if you fancy stitching it that way. So this is what I've stitched so far, and her writing and the font is just so lovely to stitch. So I've gone for like light pinks and dark pinks, and it stitches up really, really well. I really like the colours. I made a bit of a boo-boo. When I cut it, this was the longer piece, and I should have stitched it like this. And then this was the shorter piece, but I just got so excited, I just stuck it on the hoop and just started stitching. And I realised once I'd finished the whole word that I'd stitched it wrong. And I just thought, I'm going to have to frog all that. But luckily, I had bigger allowances than I thought for the border. So I stitched up the border, counted it and stitched it, and I've realised I've got enough space to do it. So I'm happy again now. But yes, it serves me right for just rushing. I should have taken my time, but there's still enough space for me to stitch it. So this is just stitched from mostly what I had from Stash. I lie. The CXC I got from Talking Dog Stitcher. The Aida is from Stash, so it's 14 count Aida. Rustico, I've got a job lot of it, just because that's what I used to stitch on all the time. I've kind of gone away from it for a bit, but it's been really nice to come back to Aida, if I'm honest, and 14 count. It's just to relax for my eyes, and you don't have to think too much about counting. So I'm very much enjoying that one. I've put it down for a little bit at the moment while I concentrate on getting the Wanderer Sal up to date, and I've got a new Sal that's starting today, which I'll talk about in a moment. So it might not get some love for a little while, but our ambition as for the Sal was just to get the word companion done. When everyone was finished, we'd discuss where to go from there. So I'll just pick that up when I can, and maybe start on the sun, because the sun was like a really cool point for me. If you want to join us, the hashtag is #TheShortestLongestSal, so you're welcome to join. There's 2 people from the Cardiff Stitchy Day that weren't on our table that have joined as well. So there's Gabby and I think so from Turtle Bay Stitches, but we will see if she's joined. I'm not sure. She said she's got a lot of stitching on at the moment, and she's opened her shop, so I can understand why she wouldn't join us. But that is that one. I've got some progress on some of my current whips I want to show you, and then I'll show you the Sal that I will be starting. So this guy hasn't been out for a little while, and I felt a bit guilty that I hadn't been stitching on him at all. If you've been around a while, it's probably one of the first ones I was showing you, because this is my oldest whip now. I started stitching this on the 13th of April last year, so it's coming up to its 1 year anniversary, and I'm nowhere near finished on it, but I've done a good chunk, and I'm hoping to finish it in the next couple of months. So this is the Freddie Mercury or Queen pattern, and it's by Unique Stitchcrafts, and I believe it's not for sale anymore. I will tag the shop down below on Etsy if it's still open, but the pattern itself I don't think is for sale. This is where I was last time, and this is what it looked like what it'll look like when it's finished. And here is my progress. So I've started on the top right corner now. I've got to just stitch the N, but I've done the 2 E's, and I've started on his body here and done some of the big bits of blue. So as you can see, it's rainbow pattern, but it's all or block stitching. So it's a good one to like switch off to and then just keep stitching. Last time, I think on this side, I did the colours and then I filled in with white, but this time I thought it'd be easier to fill in with white, and it definitely is. So do your white first and then you fill in the colour around it. It just made it a lot easier to stitch. So I will be continuing with this until I'm finished with it. I'm hoping it'll be finished this year, but we will see. Yes, I want to say not too much longer, but there is quite a lot, as you can see. So this is stitched on 18 count white Aida by Luca S, and it's all the called for DMC, and that's it. I've been on holiday this week. Not away anywhere, just I've had holidays from work and the clocks went forward, so we lost an hour of sleep, and I've just been laying in. And this morning we had an early start to go take my car to the garage, and I'm absolutely shattered just by having an early start. So going back to work next week's going to be a killer. So if you see me flagging at any point and my eyes are closing, that's why I'm falling asleep. So I just had to take a little break. So the next one is my second oldest whip, and I've just been really slow at stitching it, so I do apologise. This one is called Pink and Sun Landscapes, and it's by Crystal Feather Crafts. This is what it'll look like when it's completed. And this is what it looked like last time I showed you. And this is my progress. So I've not done too much more on this one. I think I've just done a bit more of this mound of grass, or mountain, or whatever it is. I can't really tell the size of it. I guess it's a mound of grass because this tree's quite small next to it. But yeah, it's stitching it really nice. I got the bug for it when I picked it up, and then I think another sal started, or another pattern I said I would start happened, so I had to put it down. But I am itching to pick it up again. That's the same with all my whips. I'm itching to pick them up. It's just me saying yes to other patterns in the meantime. So this is stitched on 28 count white Evenweave, and it's stitched 2/2, and it's stitched with CXC threads as well. And I just love this needle minder. I think this was Just Get Stitching, bought it from Bristol, and it's one of my favourites. They're just so unusual, the needle minders. So there's that one. I'm not 50% of the way through that yet. I'm just plodding. I'm plodding along with all of them. I'm trying not to make myself stress out about completing them too much. I'm trying. Famous last words. It doesn't help that I've got a Heaven and Earth designs I've not really touched, and I've got a long dog that I've done a little bit on. But hobby. It's a hobby, one stitch at a time, remind myself. So I'm excited to show you my long dog actually. This is one of my favourite whips at the moment. Not that I've done loads of stitching on it, but I took it to the Be Stitchy retreat, and I took some others, and I just stitched on this constantly while I was there. And did I take it? I took it to the Cardiff retreat, but I didn't really stitch much on it because it was only a day. But I'm super chuffed at where I am. So this is the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers, and this is what it'll look like complete when I've done years of stitching on it. And then this is where I was last time I showed you. I think it was quite a small start, and this is where I am now. So it's stitching up really, really nicely. I love how when I'm stitching it, things just appear. I haven't done any back stitch on this yet, and I'm wondering whether to do the back stitch as I go on each page. I think I might do by page, just so the whole page is complete and I can move on to the next one. But I'm really frustrated with myself because that's a deer, or yeah, I think it's a deer. I think it's got antlers. So I was halfway between stitching that, and I never went back to it to finish it off, and it just looks silly that I haven't completed it. So I will pick this up soon and get stitching on it. There's a few things I wanted to go through with you actually, because I'm not going to just do the 3799 DMC all the way through. I am going to add some colour, and I just wanted your opinion and to show you what I've decided. So I think I was speaking to Amanda, who was on my table in Be Stitchy, and I think I consulted the rest of the table as well, but paint box paint box threads were there, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna get some silks to like stitch some other colours onto this. I'll tell you about it first before I go into the colours. So this is stitched on 40 count Newcastle linen in Lagoon, and yeah, it's 3799 DMC. I started this on the 8th of February 2024. So I bought these 4 colours from Paintbox Threads. She was so helpful when I was there at the retreat. She taught me through, I think I picked up like the thicker ply, and she was like, that's not going to fit on 40 count. So she helped me match all the colours because they were slightly different in the thicker ones. And yeah, so she got me the fine spun silk, and I'm really happy with the colours, and they feel so soft. I've never really stitched in like fancy silks, and I'm really excited to do so. So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking this colour up against there would be for the, so I'll put the picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this colour here for the crow, so the big crow in that colour, and for the writing I was thinking, because it wouldn't be so in your face, that's a potential. I'm going to see how it stitches up. I think there's enough contrast for it to show, but definitely the crow. And then this for the little fox with the love heart, so the nice deep red. This colour for the frog, because it is a green. That colour for the frog. And then this colour for the horse. Just because he's got stars on it, and I just thought of a rodeo, and that colour looks quite rodeo-like to me. I don't know why. Don't know where my brain goes and why I think that, but they're the colours. So I am itching to get to those symbols so I can see what the colours look like. So I know it's going to be a way off with some of them, but I think the crow or raven will be the first one I get to, so it'll be the blue, and at least I can see what the colour looks like, and then I don't have to like frog when it's all completed. At least it's at the beginning. That's the colour I'm not too sure about, so we'll see. So that's where I am with those, so I'm really excited for that one. Hopefully I'll get some more stitching done so I can come back to this and spend a lot of time on it. The one thing I love about the long dogs is just what you see when you look at the pattern. So I just glanced at it now, and just looking at it again with the fresh, I want to say fresh set of eyes, but tired set of eyes today. I've seen just like loads of little creatures that I didn't even see the last couple of times I've touched it. So it's so cute. And I find when you're stitching it, you get to see little bits each time. And that's why I enjoy that pattern so much. And that's why I think it's not going to get boring. Fingers crossed. So the next thing I wanted to show you is the pattern, or the sal, that we'll be starting today, which I'm super excited about. It's called Femurs and Fungi, and it's by Fine Frog Stitching. Now, Turtle Bay Stitches, Sophie, she tagged me in this after the February retreat we went to, and she's like, this is so you. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, it is. So she said she wanted to stitch it. I'm not sure if she is going to be stitching it, but I definitely am. I know that one of my stitchy friends on Instagram is stitching it as well, Cassandra Dramatica, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's in Canada. We've been chatting for a little while, and she's really lovely. And I love the stuff she stitches, and she'll be stitching this as well. So it's nice to know that there's a few people in that sal that I know. And if anyone else is starting to stitch it, let me know, and I'd love to follow your progress as well. So this is what has been released so far. So this is the frames. So this got released today. So that's my plan for tonight. I'm going to sit down. I think we're going to have a Caesar salad, and then I'm going to sit down and probably eat some chocolate whilst watching something on TV, and yeah, get those frames pumped out. They are only little frames, so I'm hoping it won't take too long. But yes, this is what I've chosen to stitch it on. So they're all CXC threads, and you guessed it, they're by Talking Dog Stitcher. And I am going to show you the project bag that I bought to go with it. So this is from Turtle Bay Stitches, and just look at the dinosaurs. I just thought, because it's like femurs, like skeletons, I had to go for that. There was a mushroom bag as well, and I was tempted, but I loved this one. And look at the tiny, tiny cute dinosaur on it as well. So this is where my pattern is staying until it's finished, and then this will move on to something else. So these are all the CXCs. There's quite a lot of different colours in there. Ooh, and I've been making my own floss drops, just out a card and then some paper. But these are like Western theme. I love Western stuff. If you've been here a while, you know. There's like skulls and arrows and cowboy boots on these. And then I just label them with what CXC numbers they are on the back. But it just makes it so much cheaper for me to make my own at the moment, because I've got so many projects that I'm kitting up for. It just makes more sense. So this is the fabric, and I found this fabric on a de-stash table when I was at the Be Stitchy retreat, and it was just the perfect size, and I wanted to get like an emerald colour. Couldn't find it in a store over this way, and when you're ordering it on Etsy, sometimes the colours aren't what you think, but I saw this colour and I thought, you know what, that would actually match it really well. So this is, it's by Sparklies, and it is 32 count Evenweave, and I only got it for £7 on the de-stash table, and it called for like a dark colour, and even though it's pink, there's like dark pinks in it, so I think it'll really work. So if I show you the colours next to it, that's a really bad way of showing it, isn't it? There you go. So I think it'll go really well. I think greens and pinks and stuff go, and pink is one of my favourite colours. Yeah, it is. Pink and greens and oranges. So yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that tonight. So that frame will be stitched up, so keep an eye on Instagram. I'll probably post my progress on there, and yeah, I'll show you it next time I see you. But I think they're released weekly, so I no doubt will fall behind on this sale, but I'm a part of it, I'm joining in, that's all that matters really, isn't it? So the next thing I wanted to show you was my haul. I've been to 2 retreats, I've done a lot of shopping, I've had some eBay wars, and yeah, I'll talk you through that. My box of stuff to show you is quite big. Hoping I'll get through it quick so it's not like a movie length video or anything. Hello. Oh, you've got me a biscuit too. He's trying to get in on the camera, he is. Do you want to come in?
No.
He's too shy.
Sure.
Thank you. A cup of tea and a biscuit. That's good service, that. I think he's just trying to show you how good of a boyfriend he is, or actually, he's not my boyfriend anymore. I've got some news. We got engaged. He's my fiance. We got engaged on the 29th of February. It was the leap day, and I bit the bullet and I actually proposed to him, and he said yes. It's been 7 years since we've been together, and we're engaged now. So this is the photo of us when I proposed to him. I think he was expecting it. In fact, he said, "What's that thing in your pocket?" when I had the ring in there. I wasn't subtle at all. I had a big, huge thing planned. I was going to go for a walk with him, put the ring on Molly's collar, ask her to sit down and say, "Oh, what's Molly got on a collar?" And then he would see it. We scheduled a hair appointment, which is fair enough. He wanted to look beautiful. And then when he came home, I thought he'd be home when I came home from the walk, so I put the thing on Molly's collar. She'd run in and I'd be like, "What's on Molly's collar?" And he wasn't there when I got home. He was in the shop. He'd stopped at the shop. So I thought, you know what? It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it tonight. And then we sat down and we had some Chinese. He was drinking a beer. We were just chatting. I just thought, this is the perfect time. Like, we're not frills, we're not fuss. So I proposed to him over Chinese and he said yes. I didn't get down on one knee. I just stood up and I was really nervous. And I was like, "Will you marry me?" And he said yes. So I've just got a plain engagement ring, and he's got one of those flexi rings because he plays guitar and stuff, and he didn't want anything that would get caught. But I think when we finally get married, I say finally, we're looking to get married next year. We'll get nicer rings then. So yes, no like huge wedding plans. We're just going to do a registry office, I think, locally, and then go for a meal, and maybe go for like an Airbnb with family and friends. We're not 100% sure yet. Still chucking around ideas, but I'm just going to be wearing a jumpsuit, not white. And he'll be wearing his cowboy boots and nothing else. No, I'm joking. He'll be wearing his cowboy boots and something, I hope. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. So, sorry, segue that from Johnny bringing me up a cup of tea. So that's some of my news I wanted to tell you. Back to my haul. So, I went to visit the lovely, I think I've mentioned her so many times in this video, Soph, Turtle Bay Stitches, in her new shop, which is Pink Scissors in Bridgend. I will tag the Instagram below. If you live locally, she'll be opening officially soon, I think. Incredible shop, really big, lots of fabric. She does mostly like fabric to make clothes and project bags and things like that, but she does rent out tables so you can go stitch there for the day. She has quilters coming in, she's got people making all sorts. So I went down to see her, and Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, and Jess. I'll tag them both below as well. I think Jess doesn't have FlossTube, she has Instagram. They came down and we all had like a stitchy day. I took my cross stitch, but I didn't end up stitching that. I ended up stitching something else, and I will show you in a moment. But while I was there, I took some fabric to Soph and I said, could you make some bags? So she whipped one up there for me. I think she's making a couple more because I've got this fabric and I've got another fabric, and she's going to make a few bags for me. But I'm in awe of how perfect this bag is and how quickly she did it. So I took her this fabric, which is the little fox and mushroom fabric. I fell in love with it, and I chose this fabric on the inside to go with it, which I think matches really well. And then she gave me a little fox charm, which is absolutely adorable. Totally in love with this. This is housing the... What is it housing? Oh, my Good Companions cross stitch at the moment. So I got the same fabric but in pink as well, so she's going to be doing some for me in pink, which I'm excited to see. I told her there's no rush. But yeah, these are like a limited edition, I guess. I'm so happy with them. And the size is perfect because I can just store it like this with all the other ones. I'm slowly collecting her bags. I think all my whip bags will probably be replaced by them, but they're just perfect for storing. See, it's not the best size for my Heaven and Earth, so maybe I'll have to get her to make me a bigger one. But yeah, that's that one. She whipped that up for me. Talking of going to a shop, I will show you what I made, so bear with me a second. I'm in nowhere near finished on this. I just started it. I've never made anything like this before. In fact, the only thing I've done with a sewing machine before is make a pillow and a tote bag and take up Johnny's trousers too short. Like, we're short, but he's got some proper ankle swingers now because of me. So I didn't think I would do so well, but I'm very proud of what I've done. So I've had this pattern for ages. This is my lovely little Whippet Molly. And as you can see, she doesn't have much hair, and in the winter she will not go outside without a coat on. She likes to be covered over. She's even got a pitter bed, so it's like a bed that's got a blanket attached, and she scoops in there, so she's always got a bed covering her, like some blanket covering her. So I just thought I need to make her some pyjamas. I was going to make it for October for Halloween, so it could be like a Halloween costume, and I didn't. But I started the other day when I went to Soph's, and I'm going to book another day in with her and go and try and finish it off. Because I could follow the pattern on my own, but Soph's a mastermind when it comes to the sewing machine, and I want someone to talk me through, and I also want company. It's quite daunting taking on a pattern, but anyway, I'll show you what I've got. I grew up with Spyro the dragon. I'm a proper gamer. I love my games, and Spyro is one of my all-time favourites. My friends used to hire me out to go and complete their Spyro levels if they got stuck on them. So they would say, come over to mine, I'll get my mum to cook you food, and if you can complete the level. So I'd go over, complete the level, get fed, and if you saw me as a kid, you'd know that I loved food as well. food, Spyro. And when it was remastered, me and Johnny spent ages playing it. And I think one Christmas, his mum was away, so we stayed at his mum's before I had this place, I think, and before he'd moved in with me. And we just played Spyro all day and ate fried chicken on Christmas, and it was the best Christmas ever. Yeah, it was so much fun. So I'm making Molly, now I've rambled on for ages, I'm making Molly a Spyro PJ set. Oh my god, I love it. Look. So we've got the yellow spikes, we've got the purple fleece, and obviously I've just got to do the legs and arms and everything else, but I did this bit and I'm chuffed with this bit. So when it's completed, I will show you a picture of Molly wearing it, or I'll get her on camera to model it for you because she's so sleek and like a model herself anyway. So yeah, that's all I've done on it, but I'm really chuffed. I know it's not cross-stitch related, but I wanted to show you anyway. And it's so soft. Right, back to cross-stitch. I just wanted to show you the cuteness that was that outfit first. So, my little haul, or big haul should I say. So for the Cardiff Stitchy Day, I had this little needle minder. Oh, I've got it upside down. Cardiff Day Retreat 2024. So there's that needle minder. Then from the Be Stitchy Retreat, I got this retreat bag stitched. So it's got little gnomes and rabbits and things like that on. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But I got it big enough so I could fit my, what's it called? Long dog samplers in and all the threads and everything like that. So it is quite a big one. But yeah, I absolutely love that. And that's by Be Crafty Bags, Nicola, who helps arrange the retreat. She stitched that for me. So I love that one. Along with that, we were able to buy like a specific needle minder for that retreat as well. And I don't know if you can see through the glare, but it does say Be Stitchy Retreat at the top. Then it's got Feb 2024 and it's just flowers on it. The one thing I like is the magnet on the back is like soft velvet. And I was a bit scared that the needle wouldn't stick on that, but it does. So that's really nice. Then, when I was at the retreat, the Be Stitchy one, I entered a raffle and I won another project bag, another Be Crafty bag. And if you've been around a while, you know that ladybirds are really special to me. They remind me of my mum. And this was the bag that I got. Little blue ladybirds. I couldn't believe it when I opened it. I was like, my mum was looking down on me. She picked that, so that's really cute. So I've got that whip bag as well. This is why I'm starting lots of patterns. I've got lots of whip bags. I need to fill them all. And then they just stress me out. We also had like a gift exchange. I'd never done a gift exchange before. It was good fun picking for the gift exchange. I was a bit, when I got there was like lots of big boxes and mine was only like a little envelope. So I could put a pattern in, some needles, some thread. The prompt was no place like home. But it was really funny because our table, we all seemed to like switch. We picked raffle tickets at random, so we didn't know which parcel was whose, but everyone on our table seemed to have another person from our table. I think there was one person who had one from further afield. But I had Amanda's, who was sat next to me. Julie across the way had mine, so it was yeah, it was great. But I had this big box and it was full to the brim. Amanda stuffed it, so she put I'm not going to be able to show you this, the Galaxy bar, because that got snaffled like the day after. She also put a mug in there with like a little woolen like jacket on, which has been used and it's in the wash at the moment, so I can't show you that. And some hot chocolate and like a whisk and things like that, so that was perfect. Hot chocolate's gone as well, so I can't show you that. But she did include this, which is really cute. And it says, "It's good to be home." And I'm such a home bird these days that, yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Most of the time it's like, it's good to stay home. But that's what I feel like at the end of a work day anyway. And then, because the theme was it's no place like home, so she bought me this pattern. It's really lovely. It's very cute. I'm not a huge lover of the Wizard of Oz. I grew up not watching it until I was like 15, and then I think it was a bit too late for me to like get into it then. But it is a very cute pattern, and I think I will stitch that up at some point because it's so thoughtful, and any pattern with dogs on it is good for me. So there's that one. Another thing that we had for free when we were there was some fabric and some thread. So this is from Dew Design, Dew Designs, I think. So XJU Designs on Etsy. They gave us a discount code as well, which was amazing. But we had this thread. It's like a terracotta colour. It's called dark terracotta actually. So they gave us that silk thread. And then we had some lovely opalescent fabric in 32 count. So I don't know what I'm going to stitch on this yet, but it's really, really nice. Don't know if you can see the shine on that, but it is very true to colour on the camera. So there's that. I think I'll stitch like a lovely little small piece on that one. Yeah, we also got a discount code as well. Quite a hefty discount code, which is really nice actually. And I think we can use it until May, so I might, with my April pay, maybe I'll treat myself. Not that I need to after you've seen this haul that I've got. So what else did I get when I was there? So I bought, no I didn't, there was a de-stash table, and I got some things from the de-stash table. So I got this little watermelon needle minder, which is super cute. So that was for free. And I got some thread conditioner. Doesn't smell of anything. It's just plain wax, I think. So I've got a mermaid I need to stitch, like a fancy lady mirabilia, and I will show you once I've kitted up for it and started. I'm slowly kitting up and it is quite expensive, but I know there's some metallic threads in there that I need to stitch. So I grabbed this off the de-stash table, and I just thought that would come in handy because I've stitched with metallic threads before and they are not my friend. So that was a good find. So Marnie's mix bag was there, and she was selling some patterns that were 50% off, so I grabbed a couple of them. So this was the first one that I got, which is called Jack's Bash, and it's by Plum Street Samplers. I don't know if you can see that closer. So I loved that. I thought I could start that for Halloween. It's just super cute. And it says, here in the ruft and autumn bower, the knobbly gourd and bitter flower, we merry make and sing hooray to our friend Jack on his birthday. And I just thought that was super cute. It's very like Victorian-esque. So I'm excited to stitch that one in autumn, even though we're going into spring now. Then I got the Farmhouse Christmas Bar Black Sheep by Little House Needleworks. And that red barn, it reminds me of The Walking Dead, but I love it. So there's that. And then Little House Needleworks and Home of the Needle Worker, which I thought was really cute. So I'll be kitting up for that soon. I think that would look perfect on my, you come in through my front door, I've got a little porch door. If I could put that in the front, and then I'd probably have to make one Home of a Drummer as well, and a Crazy Whippet at the bottom. So maybe I could stitch that on there too. And this one, I was umming and ahhing about, and then Amanda, who was sat next to me, was like, just buy it, it's 50% off, put it in your patterns and you'll stitch it one day. And it is a really, really lovely pattern. It's by Ink Circles, and it's called Forest of Sumatra. And I just really love that. I think it's lovely because I think they're like evergreen trees, aren't they? And in green it looks really nice. But I had this thought of doing them in red, but then I thought that would be too Christmassy for me. But I'm going to play around with the colours. I guess it doesn't have to be green. It can be any colour, but I'm definitely going to try variegated threads for this one when I eventually stitch it. But I just thought that was super pretty. So that's everything I bought from Marnie's mix bag. The next thing I bought, Amanda was having a de-stash. I think her friend passed away, so she had a lot of cross-stitch stash, and she had mirabilia, lots of. Stitched most of them, and her husband was just going to chuck them in the bin. She was like, no, you do not do that. I will sell these and I'll raise the money for Macmillan Cancer Charity. I think it was Macmillan. It was definitely a cancer charity. I'm not a huge like fancy ladies person. I have that, I've forgotten the name of the mermaid. She's a green mermaid. I'll put it down below when I remember. But I've got that one which I'm kitting for at the moment, and then I picked this one because it was just, it's very me. So it's the Raven Queen, and I think she's absolutely gorgeous. She reminds me a bit of Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent, and that's why I liked her. I just love that she's got a raven. Ravens are one of my favourite birds. But yeah, I love it. It's going to be a while until I stitch this one because I haven't started stitching on the Nameless Mermaid because I can't remember her name, because it's so expensive to kit them up, but I think it'll be worth it. So yeah, that one's for the retirement, I think. There was this lovely pattern on the de-stash table as well. Super cheap. Backstory to it, whenever me and Johnny go somewhere, if I go somewhere on my own, when I was in Congdon I did it, I seek out the cathedral. I love going to cathedrals. I'm not religious, I just love sitting inside if they're open, being in the graveyard because I'm a little bit of a goth. I just find something about them really peaceful. They're just really peaceful places. So we always make it a habit to like explore cathedrals or churches if they're open. It's something we like to do together. So I saw this one and I thought I need to stitch that. So it's a full kit. It's even got the fabric in there as well, I just realised. It was only £2. Rosemary was de-stashing. So it's Worcester Cathedral, but I'm going to take Worcester Cathedral off it. I'm not going to put the words in. I'm just going to stitch it and frame it because, yeah, we just love any cathedral, and it's such a beautiful cathedral, especially with the water. But by stitching this, I will go to Worcester and actually visit the cathedral as well, because it's worth a visit, I suppose. But yeah, there's that one, and it comes with the, I think it's DMC threads. So this is by the Heritage Collection by Susan Ryder, and it's Worcester Cathedral. It doesn't tell me what threads they are, but if there's not enough, I'll just match them with CXC. I then got this from the de-stash table, which you've probably all seen. I've seen a few people stitch this up, and it's this little foxy. He's super cute. So it's the actual kit to make a card, and then there's the pattern behind, which I'm not going to show you, but it's from the Cross Stitcher, I believe. Yeah, Cross Stitcher magazine. So that was a freebie. The number of the magazine, do I have it on here? February 2024, so it's quite a recent one, but yeah, can't wait to stitch him. He's very cute. Another one from the freebie table was this, the complete kit, and it just says cross stitch style, and it's got some roses on there, and it's a wooden heart cross stitch. I just thought when my niece comes to stay over, she loves to do cross stitch with me, and I just thought that'd be a nice easy one for her to do. So I got that one for her, not as a present to gift to her. I wanted to do it when she sat with me because it brings me so much joy. I remember we sat down recently, I say recently, probably before Christmas, and her mum gave her permission to watch the Mean Girls movie with me, and we sat there and I cross stitched and she stitched like a couple of love hearts, and it was one of my favourite evenings. It was so nice. She's very much like needs to pick up like this and then that and this and that, and she actually concentrated on it for a while, which was really nice. So yeah, next sleepover after she's tired out of the Xbox and the drums and things like that, then we'll stitch together when she's winding down, which would be lovely. Okay, so these I cannot believe were on the freebie table. So these were on the freebie table at the Cardiff Cross Stitcher the day retreat. I'll show you them both. They're Rendale designs, and we got the frog. We've got the fox, Bothy threads, Rendale designs, and then the duck. Is it a duck? I guess it's a duck, yeah. A duck or a goose. I think it might be a goose. So I got these two for free. Yes, one of the patterns has been written on, but there's another one that I can use, and there's still like leftover threads, and I couldn't believe someone didn't like want £5 for it. And it was Rachel Hardy, shout out, because she's absolutely lovely. I went up to her and I said, I want the fox one for sure, but I think because they're free I should leave the goose or the duck for someone else. And she was like, no, take it, please, take both. And I just thought, okay, I'll do that, and then when I'm ready to, like, I'm not going to keep hold of the pattern, I'm going to do exactly the same thing and like gift them. I know that Amy on my table was interested in both of them and I felt a bit bad taking them both, but I think I will gift them to either her or to the next like freebie table. I'll just ask her when I'm done. But Rachel was selling the fabric that goes with it as well. She said she couldn't gift it, which I completely understand, but it was £5 for this fabric, and that'll stitch one of them on there at least. So I was in awe that I had this for like £5 for these patterns and the fabric and the threads. So yeah, super excited. This is my favourite one. She is absolutely gorgeous. I think Wolfie Stitches stitched her and I fell in love. And I've seen Lauren from Cross Stitch Bunny stitch up, I think it was the little mouse, and I think she might be doing another one as well. But I've kind of wanted to get my hands on my own, and now I have. So I got the fox, and I will figure out if this is, I think it's a goose or duck, I don't know. I will figure it out and I'll name it properly next time. But yeah, very cute. Love them. So the next thing I bought was some fabric from Coffee Craft Fabrics. And it's this gorgeous, it's not showing you how bright it is, but it's like a really bright, like, do you know Golden Wonder crisps, like the spring onion colour? It's like that colour, with some mottled blue on it, and I just saw it on her sale on Facebook and I needed it. Don't know what pattern I'm going to stitch on it, but yeah, love that fabric. So it is Evenweave, and it's 40 count. There is a gorgeous dog that stopped outside my window. It's a whippet of some sort. I think it's a whippet cross, a lurcher. And oh, so cute. That's everything for my retreats. I did actually have a retreat that I was supposed to be going to today, which would be the Floss Friends retreat. I've been ill. I've been not seriously ill. I've just had water infections and an ear infection that wouldn't go away, and I've just been exhausted. I don't know if there's stuff going around because I know a few people have had the same, and my doctor just told me to rest. So rather than driving up to Sheffield, which is like 4 hours, even though like all my stitchy friends are going to be there and I could meet new friends, I just took the difficult decision to decide not to go, which has broken my heart a little bit. Sammy was really lovely and she's like been so nice. I hope I can go to one next year, but I just, yeah, taking time for me. Hopefully next year, I think I'll go on 1 or 2 retreats. I'll go on a couple of day retreats for the rest of the year, but I don't know about going away for a weekend. It feels quite a lot, especially when I've been feeling ill, going away for a weekend and then starting back at work instantly. I think I just need to take that time to decompress. And I was just running on empty and I made myself ill, so I'm just taking time for me. So I won't be going there this weekend, but I wish everyone who's going so much fun. I can't wait to see all the photos. I have actually asked Sammy if I can buy, she's releasing a new pattern for the retreat and I've purchased it, so I will be getting that in the post and I can't wait to show you it. I feel like I'll be in there in spirit when I'm stitching it at least. So enough for waffling on, quite a long video already. I will show you the last of my haul. So I think I've already showed you this. I bought this in Create Nostalgia, Prairie Schooler, and it's A, B and C. I decided to make it my mission to get the whole alphabet. I found someone selling them on eBay I just had this urge to go onto eBay and I saw them all ending that day. And I went into a bit of a bidding war, if I'm honest, and I won a couple, but I didn't win a lot. But I think we both, whoever I was bidding against, we were both like trying to outbid each other, and they had a better skill. They did it at the last couple of seconds, which I'm going to try next time when I'm in another bidding war. But yeah, they were quite successful. So if you are watching that video and you were bidding against me, please tell me because I'm impressed. But I did make it my mission that you couldn't get the last 2 letters of the alphabet, so I'm not sorry. But I've got so these are by the Prairie Schooler. My plan is to cross stitch them on one big piece and then just have that framed, but I think I'll do it on 40 count so it's not as big. Rachel, Talking Dog Stitcher, told me about a cross stitcher that has done it recently, and for the life of me it's not coming to my mind, but when I come to kitting it up I am going to be watching that video, getting some tips, and I will definitely mention that FlossTuber. I think they're like a really popular one, not that they need a mention from someone like me, but I think it's just a really cool idea to have them all on one. It'd be great if it was a quilt or a blanket, but I'm not going near a sewing machine, going to a sewing machine with my cross stitch, because I think I would just butcher it and then I'd cry. Anyway, moving on, I got DEF. So D is for drum, E is for embroidery, and F is for friend. Then I've got PQR, so I've skipped a couple of letters. So P is for parrot, Q is for quilting, and R is for rabbit. The rabbit, the parrot, and the quilt. I love the quilt one. Very Carolyn Manning vibes, I see. Then we've got STU, which I call the Stew pattern, and Stew is my dad, so it makes me chuckle every time I see it. So U is for unlock, S is for sewing, and then T is for time, and time, oh my god, beautiful. Then we got Y and Z, and this is the one I was like, yes, they didn't get Y and Z, they don't have the whole alphabet, so apologies. So we've got Y is for yarn, Z is for zinnia, I think that's a flower, and then we've just got another one with like A, B, C, D, F, G all around it. So yarn, zinnia, and then the ABC one. So if any of you see them on eBay, please let me know. Tell me about it. I will bid my little heart out. If you've got the patterns and you're willing to sell them, let me know. Yeah, I need all the ones that aren't there, basically. So I am asking people to keep their eyes out on de-stash tables and things like that. And I know you can buy them from Create Nostalgia, but they're like £12 a piece. So I'm just trying to get one each. I might just save up £12 for each and then just order as a job lot from them. I just begrudge paying the postage each time. But I don't want to, like, I don't need to stitch it yet. It's just a fun game collecting. So I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs to a few people that shouted me out, and I'm sure I've mentioned like other people throughout the video as well, which I will tag below. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the Peachy Stitcher. So she tagged me in her third FlossTube recently, and I'd not heard of her before. I think I already followed her on Instagram, but I'd not seen her FlossTube, so I watched that and I thoroughly enjoyed, so I am going to go back and watch the other two. I really enjoyed the Little Dove Designs cross stitch that she did. It was the coffee one, and that would be really nice in my kitchen, so I am keeping an eye out on that pattern. She may have enabled me on that one, but really good. I liked the way she did her haul. I think she turned the camera around to face the table as well, which was really clever. So definitely check her out if you haven't heard of her. She's really good. Then we've got Amy, who is Sew, Make and Create. So she approached me on Instagram. We've been chatting quite a bit, and she's such a lovely lady. Her Instagram stuff is really cool. And then I found out she had a FlossTube, and I've been catching up on her stuff. She's doing a rainbow Quaker Sal with Tan, the monogamous stitcher, which I think I might join with the Queen pattern that I've got, because it is rainbow. I can't really start another one, so I'm just going to join with that and stitch along with that. So I'm really excited to see their progress. I know Tan's a machine, but by the looks of it, I think Amy is a bit of one too. So also check out her Pokemon pattern. That one's really cool. I'll link her below too. And I was starstruck the other day because Mama Loves You GB tagged me in a video. So she did a full list, a comprehensive list of all the FlossTubers in the UK. And I think they're collating them. So if you pop over to her channel, look at her latest FlossTube, I believe. She lists everyone who's in New FlossTuber or anyone in the UK, I think. So if you know of any that's not included on there, let her know. She's going to be putting a list together, and I will be going through that list and checking new people out when I get some time, and just, yeah, time and money, because I find when I watch FlossTube, I spend a lot of money on the patterns that people suggest. Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone that's followed me. And I know I've said this at the beginning, but I want to say it again because I am really grateful. I can't believe there's almost 800 people that follow my Instagram. That's a lot of people. Couldn't fit them in my house. And there's like nearly 600 people that follow my FlossTube, and I couldn't fit them in my house either. And that just blows my mind that people actually want to come and watch what I have to say. So I'm really grateful to you all, so thank you so much. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed yourself, please comment below. I love chatting to you all in the comments. I have been watching and reading things, but I feel like this video is quite long, so I'm just going to go through a list of what I've been watching and reading rather than butchering them by giving you my blurb or my rendition of what the film's about. You can just go and make, if you fancy something to watch, check these out. If you fancy something to read, check these out. Have a look at the blurbs and stuff yourself, because it's been a long video. We've got, let's have a look what I've written down. So books, we've got Under a Gilded Sky by Imogen Martin. That's a really lovely read. Bit of a romancy one based in the, like, when the railroads were being made in America. Loved it. Haunted Perham Manor. I saw someone had tagged it on FlossTube or on Instagram saying that it had like a warning, like a 18 warning. So I downloaded it on my Kindle. Really enjoyed it. It's quite spooky. I haven't been scared by a book or a film in a while, and that kind of got under my skin a bit. So I enjoyed that. Then Things I Learned from Falling, which is one of my favourite books. I read it a year or 2 years ago when I was in North Wales. She's hiking in the middle of nowhere. She falls, basically, and she writes her story all about it. I make it sound terrible. It's absolutely brilliant. So I read it before and I've just listened to the audiobook, so I really enjoyed the audiobook as well. I told you I wasn't going to tell you about these things, just give you a list, so I'll try and be quicker. So the things I've been watching, so these are a couple of films I've watched and really enjoyed recently. So Past Lives, Foe, Anyone But You. If you like cheesy rom-coms, it's a bit like the cheesy rom-coms from back in the day. Loved it. And I love Sydney Sweeney. Saltburn, watched twice, and I probably want to watch it a third time as well. All of Us Strangers, about to watch it for the second time, and Poor Things. So they are films that I absolutely loved watching in the last month or so. So definitely check them out. Yeah, and that's everything I've been watching, reading, stitching, doing, living, happening. I think I've broken. I've been sat chatting for about an hour and a half now. Hopefully I'll be able to edit that down quite a lot so you won't have to watch me for that length of time. But as always, happy stitching. Love you guys. Thank you for following me, and I will catch you next time with some new content. Bye.